more excitement, crazier adventures, and once-in-a-lifetime opportunities. That's seemingly what we are all craving for these days. Through social media, we are getting pressured that we could miss something that others are doing in their lives. The fear of missing out, or FOMO, is often referred to as the first social media disease that you very probably also suffer from. But when we take a closer look at that social media rabbit hole where we lose ourselves in every day, we see that we are actually messing up our lives and distract us from what's really important in life. Luckily, there's a simple way of fixing your FOMO that makes you happier and more fulfilled than ever before by actually consuming and doing less. To properly understand this simple way to finally release this outside pressure that social media puts on us every day, we need to go back 2,500 years in time when ancient Greek philosophers coined the term of sophrosyne, meaning the ideal of excellence of character and soundness of mind. People that followed this concept of sophrosyne showed outstanding qualities like temperance, moderation, prudence, purity, and self-control. This concept was carried over from generation to generation up until the industrial era, 150 years ago, when similar values such as thrift, self-restraint or hard work were seen as superior and aspiring. It was the area of the bank account, where you would only buy something once you could afford it with cash at hand. And today, it's the era of the credit card, where you can buy anything, anytime, anywhere. It's about buying more, consuming more, wanting and having more. Today, the ancient Greek values of moderation and self-control are no longer important, but rather what media and companies market every day. New styles, opportunities, experiences, events and trends appear almost every day, primarily through social media. And the actual problem of this is that it's in your reach anywhere and anytime. But without realizing in which vicious treadmill you are caught in today, it's impossible to break away from your constant fear of missing out. So let's find out what holds you back and turn direction. We all want to be happy in life, right? And what do you think, where does this happiness come from? Maybe experiences, maybe owning things, or maybe both. Yeah, maybe, but reality looks different. Everyone, including you, is prone to the hedonic treadmill, a theory coined by two social scientists in the 1970s. A tendency of humans to quickly return to their baseline level of happiness, irrespective of major positive or negative events in life. After nice experiences that boosted one's happiness, we're falling back to this baseline level of happiness after some time has passed. To maintain this slight uplift in happiness, we have to work harder and harder and create nicer and nicer experiences than the initial one to push our happiness even further. And that's crucial, so let's take this simple example. Assuming you have just bought a new pair of sneakers, and this increased your level of happiness for a day or so, but it now falls back to the baseline level, unless you make it rise again, and what you obviously want, because the happier the better, right? Maybe buying a second pair of sneakers will not get your level of happiness back to the top, so you need to improve your experiences by maybe even buying 2 sneakers instead of 1, or 1 super special limited edition to really increase your level of happiness. A second really simple example is going to a restaurant. I mean, my husband and I, we love good food, but we are only going out to really nice restaurants a couple of times per year. This makes every visit a real highlight. But if we're going for dinner with friends that are eating out several times a week, a restaurant that would be a highlight for us would just be average for them. So they need to go to fancier and fancier restaurants over time to experience the same increased level of happiness like us going to a more basic place. That would mean becoming happier also means that you need more. Be it sneakers, nights out at fancy restaurants, or glamorous weekend trips. But the dangerous part here is that it's all held right into your face via social media, and you can readily access it and buy it within just a few clicks. So without even realizing, you are on the constant hunt for more happiness and run faster and faster in your hedonic treadmill, even if it sounds worse. Now the good thing is that you know the problem, and I will show you a simple way out of this self-destructive circle. The simple answer for getting out of this vicious circle is less is more. Now you might think, hey Lea, that doesn't make sense, because if you have less stuff and experiences, my level of happiness will no longer be uplifted and I will remain at my baseline level at a worse point than I was before. But that's wrong. So let me explain it with an example. Remember when COVID hit in spring 2020 and suddenly whole cities, countries, or even continents were in lockdown. Crazy, unimaginable things happened, and from one day to another, people were locked in their homes, including me here in Germany. At times, we were not allowed to leave the house except for essential things such as grocery shopping. Shops, restaurants, and bars were closed. We were not allowed to meet with other people, be it friends or family. But that also meant that my and everyone's social life almost came to a halt. No more events, parties, or trips that you could make, but also none of those things could be posted on social media anymore. To me, this felt like a turning point. During those lockdowns, with few external influences that could create the fear of missing out, I readjusted and rethought my priorities. Ever since, I've been very picky with going to parties or spending time at events, because I realized the less is more and better. It's not about FOMO, having, consuming and wanting more, pressured by social media, but it's about the value of single or even simple things. There are a few books and studies that have coined the term JOMO, the joy of missing out, which I really like. It's basically about the concept of doing less but a lot more conscious. And that makes total sense if you just think about your time, energy, attention and money that all sum up to like 100% per day, week, month or years. For example, instead of buying 10 pairs of cheap sneakers that you find okay-ish, you could buy one special pair that is more expensive but makes you really happy. The same is true if you go to, let's say, 20 social events where you can each put 5% of your energy and attention in. Or you go just to 2 main events and focus all your energy and attention to only these special ones. That's also then reflected in your happiness curve. Even if you have less triggers that lift your happiness, if you choose them wisely and consciously, they will lift your happiness higher and also for a lot longer. So always remember that you only have a certain amount of resources, being time, money or energy, and you have to make the best out of it. Don't follow social media's recommendations blindly that want to tell you that you are missing something. Instead, define for yourself what you value most. And don't forget, by saying no to something, you are saying yes to something else. Besides feeling chased by social media and others' expectations, if you're also feeling way too busy, watch this video that will help you to realize the dangers of constant busyness and shows you simple ways out of despair.